my charger.
No, that plug, for example, didn't accept anything of me last time. Just see.
There's more plugs on the way to the stacker.
I do. But does it have a thingy?
Come, bring it.
No, it's fine. No. I desperately need to charge my phone. Could I plug this into the USB into your laptop?
You know what? Someone has done it, and then my iTunes have synced with their phone. Yeah. So I don't want you to have
No, that's fine.
50 pounds on something on your phone.
My phone.
I'm sorry. The only reason I'm saying no is because it has happened, and I felt so terrible for that person.
Now I know everything.
Let's just see. Is there another thing you make? There is.
What you want? You want all the Godfathers? Martin Scorsese, classic. Classic. Trilogy. Although the first one was the best one, personally. I don't know what you want. Come look. Let's go class time. I got 13. You know, that documentary about the prison industrial complex in the States. Ron Burgundy, The Anchorman. I like them all. Okay, but I like Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang is like my favorite superhero. It's like, do you know Louis C.K.? He's like the comedian. Well, he wrote this particular one. He worked closely with,
We're alive.
okay.
Wait, let me get this thing on. Oh, we're going to keep this one and put that one off. I thought we did it last time. Hey. It's warming up. So, how was everyone's first week of class? Was it good? It was your first week, hey? Everything last week. Great. And your weekends?
Relaxing.
Oh, that's good to hear. Did someone do anything interesting?
Absolutely nothing interesting.
Absolutely nothing interesting. I took my 11-year-old daughter to Katy Perry. I survived to live to tell the tale.
What did you want? Did it scar you eternally?
No, it was wonderful, I have to admit. Just didn't know how to contain your excitement after that energy.
Where was she performing?
She does at the Ticket Pro Dome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was, I must admit, I'm not a fan, but
Yeah.
I think I am now. She's just so beautiful, and she just sounds like she actually done on her CD. It doesn't sound like,
Oh, it's always the worst.
yeah,
You just
so
make
it sounds right.
Yeah.
The show was
So
just
she actually
right.
does have a voice.
This is a bit light, eh? But I think you'll be able to see.
So
Yeah.
I came to the decision to resign from work.
Oh!
So I'll be resigning next week, like end of the month, which is next week Tuesday.
Yeah?
Because I choose my sanity over everything else.
That's
so that
brave.
means I'll be able to actually come to all 12 weeks.
Fantastic.
Yeah, my goodness.
So what did
I
they
have no
say? Did
backup
they not
plan.
offer you
Well, they don't
like a
know.
counter offer? Or did
No.
they not say,
Well, I haven't actually told them. I've
Maybe
made a
they'll
decision
do
in my
that.
head. I'm actually going to tell them on Tuesday.
maybe if you do that, then they'll say
But
no?
I don't, they could give me the world right now.
It won't make a
Just-
difference.
I'm okay. So, yeah.
folks, let's start.
From elevator.
Right. Okay, so I don't know why this thing keeps giving me notes. I don't want notes. I hate notes. Just display normally. Don't want notes. Let's see. There we go. That's better. Okay. All right. So, no, that doesn't look great either. Now I can't see the bottom of it. Oy vey. I'm sorry. I'm so just tired. All right. Let's see. Okay. So, just to give you a bit of a proper plan for the rest of our time together, we'll do, we had our introductory lesson last week. Today we're going to talk a bit about the marketing team, and you had to prepare where you looked at one of the traditional publishers on the Publish SA website. Find one of them, and each of you are going to get a turn to discuss that marketing team and what that marketing team looks like. Why that is important is because obviously for the role division throughout the rest, but when you do the marketing plan and when we do our final assignment, that the marketing team is quite important. As you can see, it's not dealt with at all really in Braverstock. It's not something that she talks about. She goes very practical, which is fine, but we need to look at this from a business perspective as well. So we're going to look at that. Then next week we'll do the more introduction to marketing concepts. So things like what is marketing, what is sales, etc., etc. That's chapter 1 in Braverstock. The 6th of August we'll do understanding the market, which is chapter 2 to 3 of Braverstock. We'll look there, I'm sorry it's so small, market research, segmentation, competition, and then something that's not in Braverstock is the concept of generational theory. So understanding consumers, understanding generations, and how we market to them. So if that is something that interests you, you can start looking up on that as well. Then the rest of August we'll look specifically at specific sectors in the South African publishing industry. So we'll start with educational publisher, looking at consumer behaviors in education, and then very specifically trends in educational consumer behavior. Then we'll do, as a tertiary publisher, student or general consumer behavior for the post-school, TVET, professional market, and then trends in that market. And then lastly, as a trade publisher, understanding general consumer trends there and what consumer behavior is driving that sector at the moment. And the whole notion of consumer behavior and why that is important from a marketing perspective. Okay. Then after your study break, we'll do marketing tools, and I'm combining 4 chapters there, 5, 10, 11, and 12. Because I don't think it's necessary for us to go into so much practical detail. If at any point you have to do that when you're fully employed, then you'll have a basic understanding of that, and it's not difficult things. So I've combined it into one. Then we do direct marketing, and there's a bit of online marketing in here, but I'll probably move it down here. So that's chapter 8, and specifically the role of the author in marketing, which is a growing topic in publishing, especially given the breakdown of the value chain. I don't know if I showed you that last time. Maybe we can look at that now to show you how, or I can look at it then as well, how the value chain is broken down and why authors are becoming so important to us. Now then, Heritage Day is on a Monday, so there's no class, and then we're spending 2 lectures on digital marketing. So that is a big focus for me, because I want you to understand what is digital marketing, what are the key concepts in digital marketing, what is search engine optimization, what is relationship marketing, what is audience marketing. Oh, there are so many trends. Working out a content strategy for social media, working out a content strategy for a website, that's very important to me. So that's where we'll probably do copywriting as well. So we're actually writing do a mini content plan, social media content plan for a publication. Okay, so that we'll do in October. Then we'll do a full marketing plan. We'll run through that, and then you'll get your last assignment. I'll probably give you your last assignment already after Heritage Day. Then you've got enough time to work on it. Okay, but digital, as you see, very, very important. Okay, everybody filled this in? Great. Right, who is going to start? First of all, I want us to look at Vavavoom marketing campaigns. Yes.
I think how APSA recently did like a major rebranding, and like there was no word of it until the day of like the relaunch.
Interesting one. I'm going to put my hotspot on so that we can go online quickly. APSA. What was good about it for you?
The way that I feel like they directed it towards like our community, our country specifically. Where before it was, I think that they were underwritten by Barclays, and I think there was like this big fear of what would happen to APSA.
Yeah.
And like I feel it's the rebranding of the Africanism, like they're trying to reassure you that the country is strong and that they're going to base everything on
Okay.
what we have in our country, that things are not going to collapse. And that, I don't know, it's cool, it's interesting.
So what's the message that they're trying to convey? That we understand our consumers?
Yeah, I feel they're trying to understand that it's an African bank for African customers. It's
Okay. Anybody got an opinion on that? No, we have to say it. And remember, because I know we're all extremely sensitive thanks to social media. In this class, everyone can have an opinion and we're all adults enough to respect it. You absolutely hate it. I don't see the point, I'm going to be honest, but let's hear.
I love the idea behind it, Africanicity. You know, they've put in a word about what we do, 101 of Bloody Fish Paste. But for the, like, why that route? It doesn't, what they're saying speaks to me, like, but how they have presented it, it doesn't. It's just like Instagram was different.
So what they're saying, the whole idea of a bank for Africans, that speaks to you.
Yeah.
But how they are doing it does not speak to you.
Yeah.
How are they doing it?
It's just I don't think it marries to the design that they've used.
Do you think the design and the
copy
so the copy, the actual visual
Yeah.
representation of that and the voice doesn't speak together?
When I actually saw it's along the freeway, when I saw this whole thing that talks about, we're a bank that gets things done, and we have tenacity, or all of that. That
Yeah.
speaks to me. The design, not so much. I don't understand the design.
Okay, anybody else have an opinion on that? Who banks with APSA? Huh? Why do you bank with APSA?
Personally? It's just like I need an account, let's go to APSA.
Yeah, I was one of those old people who still had an account with Trust Bank. You remember Trust Bank? I don't even remember that. Wilson, you remember Trust Bank? Yes. Wilson is my sole partner in this class. So I was with Trust Bank. Trust Bank, it was yellow and grey. And that was because my parents were there and we still had a little book. You remember those books, Wilson? That you'd open up and there was and you'd get a little book and they'd send you via normal snail mail a little update, and you'd put that in your book, and then you'd go to the bank with your book. No card, a book. A little book. And that then later became APSA. So I was automatically put into APSA. But let's talk about this. When you decide to choose a bank, what drove you as consumers to choose a bank? What drove you to choose APSA?
It was the closest bank to my house.
Okay. Physical location. So it was physically easily available. That's not a bad thing. Location. Oopsie daisy. Sorry, that's the principle of any good selling. Thank you. Okay. So location, what else? Where are you banking? Sorry.
With F&B.
FNB. And what made you choose FNB?
It's, well, I came from ABSA, so I left ABSA because of its complicated online banking, and I found FNB's
Yes.
one quite simplistic.
Okay, so how will we summarize that? The digital offering, what the user experience on the digital platforms was
Yes.
better on FNB.
Yes.
Okay. Madam next to her,
Also every
and the reason?
my mom banks with me.
Okay.
She's the one who does like set up my account when I was like 13. I first got like a debit card thingy. So
Okay.
that was just kind of obvious.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay, we know now location. Nicole?
Nedbank, because my parents had an account with them, so I started a account. So when I came to make my own student's account, I went with them because it was easier, all my information was there, and it was also like 18 rand,
Okay.
free internet banking and
Yeah.
free transactions.
Okay, so they did have those additional free services.
Yeah, the additional free services, they weren't any better anywhere else, so it made sense to stay with the one I was with.
So the industry is quite heavily regulated, and you found that the service offering, the kind of area where you felt they could compete, they weren't actually competing.
Yes, yeah.
So you felt you got the same fee, the same service, whether it's on Nedbank or not. Okay. Next to you, sorry guys, let's just say your names again. I'm still learning them all.
Melissa.
Melissa?
I'm with ABSA.
I'm with ABSA. Don't say it proudly, you're with ABSA.
I'm kind of out because I have a student check account, and like their rates are pretty low.
Okay.
And like all these, they have benefits, quite a lot of benefits, and you get free data, you get like free movie tickets, and like I think they were promoting it at that stage. So I was like, hey, there's like
Something for me.
yeah.
Okay. So they did promotion, and their promotion spoke to you.
Yeah.
You had a need for that service at that time, at that price, and you went with it.
Yeah.
Have you ever shopped around?
Yeah, I was looking at FNB, but their bank charges are quite high for me.
Okay.
compared to what I have
So you did a comparison of services, and the bank charges were too high. Right, Wilson, my friend, where do you bank?
My primary bank is Standard Bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fact that you say primary, it's my primary bank.
It's quite a long time ago. I can't remember why I chose Standard Bank, but maybe because at some point in my life, blue was my thing.
So I'm going to say here blue was your thing.
Association.
Yeah. So there was no specific reason why you opted for
I
that.
think at the time I opened my account, it was the biggest bank
Mhm.
in the country.
Okay.
Perhaps that's why I chose it.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe.
Sorry?
They,
Yes.
I bank with Nedbank
Yes.
because of the charges.
Okay.
The student account is just, is it 18?
Yeah.
You just pay the 18 and then it's done. No
18
bank
rand.
charges.
That's insane.
Flat fee, 18 rand. God, I wish I was a student again.
All your internet banking is free and your ATM withdrawals free if you withdraw from Nedbank and it works out well.
So you can, and how many transactions can you have monthly on your debit card? Are they all free, or do you start paying in point?
Yeah, it's unlimited.
Unlimited. Damn. Okay. Michelle?
I am with Standard Bank, and I took this the bank my mom banks with. And when I was like 13 and I opened up my own account, it was just easy. And now I don't want to be in that bank because then it will take long for her to transfer me.
Yeah. And the moment you start working, you realize if you bank with the same people as your employer, your money gets released quickly.
Long story, because we're in an international organization, Nedbank is their bank. So it takes like a week for me to get my money, and it's very sad. But I'm more reliant on my mother than I am on my work. So
As you are.
Oh,
Yes.
my, where I work, my internship, it banks with Nedbank. So
Okay.
I get my money before.
Before the others. Ding, ding, ding. Okay.
Also FNB, but I moved from Standard Bank a few years ago.
Okay.
Just because, you know, there were hip hop and happening, they had everything I needed. Standard Bank was
So they had the vibe.
They had the vibe. Standard Bank was
Okay.
like super boring and super like high priced. But
Yeah.
yeah, so FNB
It's important that you say that. So you perceive the Standard Bank brand as boring,
Yeah.
and the F&B brand as hip hop happening and vibing.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Cool,
Yep. So.
you're getting Dolores. Dollars.
Yes, dollars. Yep, dollars.
We call them Dolores.
It's the Navy Federal Credit Union.
Yeah?
Yeah, so it's
Do they still pay you?
pay me.
Do they pay you? Or do you pay in dollars?
Wait, here?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, damn.
But no, Navy Federal Credit Union.
Yeah?
Free international withdrawals.
So you still bank with them?
Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Okay.
It came as a recommendation from my cousin who's in the Navy.
Okay. And you see it said specifically free withdrawals internationally.
Yep.
Okay. Now if we look at this, we're going to take ABSA bank, or just banking now. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't get which bank.
Navy Federal Credit Union. So it's an American-based bank.
Yeah, so it's not even, it's a credit union.
Yeah.
As opposed to a bank.
Yeah. But you obviously can get your money here. That's the important bit. Okay. Hello. How are you? Welcome. Okay. So we're going to use that example of ABSA now. And think about content. And I'm going to say the following things, and then you think about this. So, she chose ABSA because of location. How does location marketing impact content?
It's quicker. If the location is more convenient, the content gets to you quicker, which is
Yes. And is that location a physical thing?
No, I think it can be online. If you go straight to a website and you see, like that search engine optimization, when you're looking for something like ABSA student loans, and when you Google that and then you click on the link that pops up and then you're straight there where ABSA student loans.
Yes.
That's where the location is just popping up with ABSA, and now you've got to go, oh, okay, yay, I got ABSA, now I've got to go find their student loans and
Exactly.
monthly loans.
So location has to do with access and convenience. She's banking with them because they are located close to her house. It's easy to access and it's convenient for her to access. Now if you think about books, we have to do exactly the same thing with content. Content has to be easy to access and convenient to access. And what does that access look like? That's when you move into publishing production. Because access is not necessarily a physical medium or format that we're looking at. It can be something digital. Okay,
So would that be like your ebooks on all the platforms? Or-
exactly. So as a publisher, as a starting point, you cannot just sell your ebooks or your physical books on your own store. It's great for a publisher to have their own e-commerce site and to sell through their own bookshops, for example, Van Skyke bookshops, and to sell through their own e-commerce platform. But that's not necessarily most convenient for me as a consumer. Perhaps I have an account, I've shopped so much with Takealot that I get 10% discount on everything I purchase from them. Why aren't your books on Takealot? Perhaps I like to download the Leisure Books app. I don't even think that exists anymore. And I need to know that your content is on the Leisure Books app. I travel a lot. Now I can only get this book in a printed format and not in a digital format. When I do download the digital format from your ebook store onto iBooks, for example, or from Amazon onto my Kindle, it's extremely large and it takes up a lot of space on my phone. So all those product considerations impacts the way the consumer makes a choice at the end of the day. And when we market, when we sell, we have to speak to consumer needs and consumer behavior. Because if we don't understand where they buy, what they buy, when they buy, for who they buy, we're not going to get it right. Okay, so that's an example of location. Your name again, I'm sorry. Lebo. She mentioned user experience of the digital platform. Wow, she's the ideal consumer. She's trendy, she knows what she wants, she's not going to go into a bank-to-bank anymore. How does the user experience on digital platforms impact publishers?
So if you decided that you're going to publish a book and it's going to be available on Kindle iStore, don't know what that one is, and 5 books, there we go. And I have another one, Google Books.
Yeah.
And when you read it better on Kindle than you do on iBooks because of the different platforms that they use, the different settings that they use. It's more
Exactly.
user-friendly.
Who has bought a book online? Let's talk about buying first. Who has bought a book or a piece of content online that found the experience awful? What did you buy?
I don't know, it was some like, I don't know, it was an ebook that I really wanted to read, and then I bought it like a dodgy website because it was cheaper, and then once it transferred onto Kindle, the app, so the writing was only on half of the page, and you couldn't like fix it to make it,
Oh, wow.
so it was like, not scanned, but like on your phone, but there would only be text on that half, and it was so irritating to read because then like sentences would cut.
So that was a dodgy website because you'd have to get it cheaper there.
It was cheaper there.
It was cheaper.
Yes, I won't do that again.
No, it's good you say that because as a consumer, you exhibited consumer behavior. You said, where can I find this cheaper? And then I'm going to give it a go. The sad thing is your digital experience was awful. Okay. Who has bought something online and had a wonderful experience? Content. Think about content. Who's bought content recently online?
It's been a minute. A very long time.
You remember that video last time? 95% of all songs downloaded last year were done illegally. Yes.
Progressive download.
I bought a fitness tracker on Monday only
Yeah.
website, and it came within like 4 days. And it's not a very nice fitness tracker, but I got it with the e-bucks, I think. So it's
Okay.
basically, it didn't have the heart rate monitor, so it's actually a heart rate monitor.
Okay.
That's on me. That's not on you.
But the experience was good.
Yeah, experience. is
Okay. Nicole?
I bought a self-published book on Kindle, and I could find it easily despite the fact that it's a South African self-published fantasy writer.
Wow.
And besides like maybe one spelling and grammatical error, it was perfectly like enjoyable.
Fantastic. So you could easily search it on Amazon. So the keywords are obviously well done, and you could download easy. And whether it was good content or not doesn't really matter because that's in the eye of the beholder, like beauty. But you could access that content.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we equate banking to book publishing or content publishing, the user experience on digital platform is just as relevant. Okay. A lot of you mentioned parents and moms. That is called referral. Now, referral is huge for us in marketing because that's what social marketing is all about. It's about referrals. Whether I am using OMO or whether I am going to read another book, someone has referred it to me. And look how powerful that concept is if 1, 2, 3 of you mentioned your parents as the deciding factor in the product that you purchased at the end of the day. Now, that's nice for children's books because we know we market there to the parents. The kids will like the covers and they will like the fluffy cushions and exclusive books, but the parents at the end of the day have to fork out the money. Okay, but now we're grown-ups And we all are using a product based on referrals by people that we value. This is where generational theory comes in. Okay, so you trust your parents, I take it.
Sure.
You trust your parents, they made a good decision, irrespective of what they made. So if a friend came to you and said, I don't see Nedbank giving me 18 Rand for their charges, I have to pay 275 Rand. But your parents showed you that you are only paying 80 Rand. Who are you going to trust? Your parents, the trusted source. So whether we do banking, whether we do content, we have to be a trusted source. Okay, people have to know they can trust us. What we deliver is the goods. And when people refer, that's extremely important. So very often when we do indirect marketing or social media marketing, that's when we're trying to find influencers in the market. Okay, so when we do digital marketing, we look at influencers. Yes?
It isn't part of the thing that I researched, but I'm just thinking now that on Instagram, I think 2 weeks ago, there was a sunglass company called Abela Eyewear.
Yeah.
And they were like, but more than 100 followers, hit us up, there's a great deal. So I was like, I'm bored, I have nothing to do. So you type in they kind of scan your page, and they're like, fine, you've got more than 100 followers. They give you 70% discount in their shop. They're a USA-based company. I purchased the sunglasses, they should be coming in the next couple of days. And basically that's, you get them and you take a photo and you upload it onto your page and you tag them. So it's this whole kind of process of as you're saying, like influencers, ambassadors.
Yeah.
And then from there, then I can generate coupons for,
That's
people
right.
who.
So
So
product
it's
punting on social is
Yeah.
very, very big, obviously. So remember we said last time, brands are intruding on social media. Social media wasn't invented for brands, it's peer-to-peer. So one of the best way for a brand to get the peers to refer them and to like them is to product punt with influencer voices. Okay, so those are typically, a good example are your food bloggers, your fashion bloggers, sports people, celebrities who are on social media and who can punt your product. The danger that comes with that is that you do find people who buy likes. So I don't know, you've probably heard of that, but people who actually buy likes on social media. So they buy an audience. So you think they're big, but they're not necessarily big. Those aren't authentic likes or people who actually work with the brand on a daily basis. And so we'll look at that and to what extent content publishers do that kind of thing and buy likes. Okay, so referrals, very, very big thing. Someone mentioned the charges, a simple price consideration. Price will always be a consideration for a consumer. And how we market price to sell something is extremely important. So pricing has taken quite an interesting direction in the digital environment because we're finding that two things. We're finding that people are very easily subjected to micropayments. So micropayments is, best example is iTunes, R9.99 a song. I don't have to buy a CD anymore. I can buy one song at a time. And my credit card is linked to that app, and damn it, Friday night I downloaded 12 songs I liked, not from 3 different CDs from Katy Perry. Because I didn't need to buy the whole CD. And I literally sat there go, bling, 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 ta-da! And they made $120 off me in 3 minutes. I would not have bought one of those CDs fully. So micropayments is a big thing in our economy. And creating products and creating options for consumers to purchase products in micropayments is very valuable. That's where serialization of products come in, okay? And a big thing for content is bundling. So how do we bundle content? So, to say, for example, if you buy this book, we'll give you this one for free. And I mean, you can, if you walk down to Van Skype bookstore, the physical store, they do the same thing. BIC is now doing the same thing. If you buy any of these packs of pens, you get this pack of pen for free. Okay, yes.
Computer games do that a lot as well.
Yes, a lot. So bundling and micropayments is a big thing in the digital economy, and we will look at that further under digital marketing.
So,
Right.
Have you heard of, so in America there was this author that wanted to claim copyright over the word cocky.
Yeah?
So, all these authors got together now before it was copyrighted, and they started this whole protest thing. And then I think like 12 out of the 15 authors that had gotten together all had books, titles with the word cocky in it. So they bundled this book together of all of their 15 books, and they sell it now, and it's called Cocky Tales or something like that. And it's all the revenue goes towards fighting the state in court on not being able to copyright a specific
Oh, wow.
word.
That's a brilliant, I mean, it's good business and a good marketing campaign.
That's all I
Yeah. So something that is closely related to that, two things, two examples we can look at, is we can look at, who of you know The Shack, the book? Yes. Well, I can't even spell shack tonight. Sorry, I'm so tired. Now there's the film. I don't want the film. Don't restore everything. Who of you know how The Shack started?
You mean well, it was that whole, once you finish reading it, pass it on to someone else.
Yeah, I don't even have the original website here anymore. I have it somewhere in a presentation. So the gentleman who wrote The Shack, the author, I can't remember his name now. I can't remember, I'm sorry. Oh, there, William Paul Young. He wrote this book, and he made all the chapters available for free, online. So you could download it, read it, and share it with other people. And then when the last chapter was about to be released, he said, purchase this.
Oh, wow.
And then people purchased the last chapter. And then so he gave 12 chapters away for free. People bought the last chapter. And of course, he was such a big success, he then sold out to a publishing company. Okay. He probably didn't need to. I think it was wise of him. It probably gives, as a publisher, it gives the book a little bit more credibility. But that's a good example of freemium. So the free economy, Chris Anderson, he's also one of the founders of Web2, where we give things away for free to generate conversation and to generate peer referral. Okay. So I'll see if I have that. But another very good example, let me just find the right wording. Who knows this book? Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls. It's wonderful. If you have a daughter or plan to have a daughter or are a daughter, buy it. Boys can read it too, Mr. Paul. So, this is their website. The second volume is now out. A friend of mine, her daughter actually is one of the, they sponsored through crowdsourcing, they funded the second book as well. Her name's in the back of the book. So who knows how Rebel Girls started? A crowdsourced, crowd-funded publication. They said, we're not going to any publishers with this. They had a Kickstarter campaign to raise funds to publish this book. They had illustrators, they had written the copy, they said who they wanted to include in the book, people could make recommendations on it. The first volume, and I mean it's a beautiful book, it's that one, it's a hardcover, it's just gorgeous. It was all funded by the public. And it became so popular, I think it's almost like $100 million in terms of revenue that they make from selling this book worldwide. And the second one, now this is now a full business, Rebel Girls. So they do product endorsements via the people that they feature in the book. They've now published the second volume. You can order posters from them. So, I mean, merchandise. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And they sell hats, caps, t-shirts, posters. And this is a book. and it started as a crowd-funded publication. No publisher was ever involved. So it was people who were passionate about it and believed in it. Okay, so keep things like that in mind. The last one that I wanted to mention was what you said about the vibe. So you perceive other brands as boring and F&B as vibey. How opportunistic or detrimental is the message that publishers send out when they market? Is there an opportunity, or has it never really come to fruition for them? Have you ever been affected by a marketing campaign by a publisher, by the message? You cannot say Harry Potter. Yes,
Especially
Wilson.
if you've read the author's, one other book by the author, they're bringing out a new one. It could be a year in advance. They say it's coming out in a year, and then they give you a synopsis, and you read it,
And then you pre-order.
you pre-order.
Okay, that's very good. You're our ideal customer, Wilson. We're very happy.
What do you mean by
So-
affected? Sorry.
So, have you ever had a campaign, a marketing campaign by a publisher, make you decide to purchase a book without having necessarily read the author? Yes, Nicole?
So my one that I wanted to choose was the Penguins Read the Year campaign. And they basically pick a prompt for every month, and you read a book with that in mind.
What's it
And
called?
Read the Year. So you can go on Instagram.
Penguins Read the Year.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's also in their bio. But,
Can't remember how to spell penguins. Penguins
Read the Year.
Read the Year. Okay.
And they pretty much prompted it on Instagram because of the whole Bookstagram, pretty photos of books and that. And then they also provided you with a list of books that they've published, that if you don't know a book that fits with the prompt, you can find these. Oh yeah, then.
Wow.
And so I started doing that, and I bought
Sorry.
published by Vintage. I bought Memoirs of a Geisha, to talk about obsessive love, and Full February, and
Oh, it is a gorgeous book.
yeah, and then I bought the 100 Nasty Women of History to fit with the March read a book about a woman you never heard of. So I ended up buying all these books that I would have never bought because of that.
So
And
they
then-
did recommendations for you. So if they say use a book to get closer to nature, then they'd make recommendations for which
Yeah.
books.
So I never took any of the ones from their recommendations. I was just looking around and going, oh, this fits with this theme.
Yeah.
I've never heard of these 100 women. Let me actually go and read
Wow.
about them. And then
Honestly, read the books?
and then the list, has the ones they've published are not ones that
Wow. I did not know about this.
that
This is
you
quite
can,
nice.
You can read to fit.
Yeah. And you can actually do 12 books in a year,
Yes, yeah.
which is great, if you can keep up with it.
Yeah, if you can keep up.
So that campaign, you thought this is a great initiative, I'm buying into it, and you actually bought a couple of those books.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay? You had something to say, Mr.
I think my answer to your question was no, but there was a point that I wanted to make. Right. I haven't been affected by a publisher's campaign or anything like this, but I always wanted to know why. Why is it that publishing houses traditionally don't have very strong brand recognition, like a Coca-Cola or, like the publisher seems to just float around in the background. I always was curious as to why.
I'll give you my opinion now.
I think a book that really affected me, and it was in the weirdest way, was I was watching John Oliver, Last Week Tonight, and he basically, as a joke, created a book to compete with, Mike Pence? I think it's Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mike Pence,
The US presidential
he's
candidate.
he's not the presidential candidate, he's the second in command.
Oh,
Vice
that one
president.
with this dark hair. It's
Okay,
also
so
a pain in
he
the
is
cut, all of them.
Vice President,
No politics.
who's writing his own children's book about his rabbit, and he has a rabbit called Marlon Bundo. Okay, and it's this cute little storybook that he's written, So, John Oliver and obviously his team decided they wanted to stick it to him. Because obviously Mike Pence and Donald Trump don't stand for very good values in terms of
Yeah.
homosexuality and gay rights. So they wrote their own storybook about Marlon Brando, same bunny,
Yeah.
who is now gay.
Yeah.
So it's a children's storybook about a gay bunny who finds love and has to defeat this evil person who is Mike Pence, okay, in the book. And this was, it was written, it was illustrated, and it was released earlier this year. And it completely slammed. It was the best book ever. It was #1 on Amazon. It was incredible. And what they did is what's it called? The royalties for the book go to helping people who are struggling in gay rights issues.
Oh, isn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
So who is John Oliver? Is he?
John Oliver is a comedian. He's he's actually he's an English comedian who lives in America, and he just has a satire show.
Okay.
But he talks about really good political.
And then who published the book? Did he self-publish it, or was it through a publisher?
Not actually sure. The book he published is called The Secret Life of Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who published it, but
Tale of Two
basically
Bunnies.
HBO has a lot of money and they can do whatever they want.
The Day in the Life of Marlon Brando. That was the original one by
Yeah, that is the one
Mike
written
Pence.
by Mike Pence and his
Yes.
wife.
Okay.
And his one was The Secret Life of Marlon Brando. So he just takes his
I want to know who
bunny
this
basically.
publisher is, because I think that's quite
And ever
cocky
since-
themselves.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. And the book sold brilliantly. I mean, they ran out of stock within 2 days.
So is that art follows life, or art imitates life, or life imitates art?
A good argument could be made from both perspectives.
But how wonderful that they took that opportunity.
It's amazing.
So
And
it was
I really want
something-
to get this book, but it's like $300 for a children's book.
Okay. Very, very good example. I want to get back to your question. It's a question that publishers have been struggling with forever. Since the dawn of Gutenberg. We've been wondering, why do people know that this is the Bible, but they don't see that Gutenberg actually did it on paper?
Right.
Two things. The author's voice has always been stronger than the publisher's voice. Agree or not? No? If you don't agree, you have to. I don't necessarily agree.
Well, I guess it depends on what format, right? Maybe within the format of a bound book, yes, but then there's content or storylines like movies, for example. Universal Studios, you know about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's necessary.
If we take these two examples,
Yeah, Disney.
Disney is the author and the brand, Mr. Walt Disney. Okay? People buy Disney content, not because it's been written by any author, but because they have a very clear voice. In publishing terms, we'd call this their publishing philosophy. We don't do publishing philosophies anymore.
Wait, one more time. I like this point, though. They have a clear voice.
So, Disney, people buy Disney content, not because Mr. Walt Disney wrote it. They don't know who the Imagineers are who come up with all these brilliant stories. What's Walt Disney's most recent movie? Coco. I think it's Coco. They buy Disney content because of Disney content. You understand? So the brand is strong enough. They don't care who wrote it. They buy the brand because Disney says it sells magic.
Right.
It doesn't sell content, it sells magic. It's like Red Bull that says it sells experience. Or Coca-Cola that says it sells sells Disney. Red Bull sells adventure. Coke sells experience. So, what can Random House sell? That is an umbrella term for all their authors. But you see how difficult it is.
Yeah. So I see in the case of Disney, there's like an overarching narrative.
Absolutely. I love that. You're giving me goosebumps. There's an overarching narrative in a brand like Disney, which we don't have in something like Random House or any publisher, because they've got publishing lists. So how do you have an overarching narrative if you do children's books, professional books, political titles? Do you guys agree?
I think people who work within the publishing houses themselves know what their books are about and what their competitors' books are about. Because, you know, I hear it like every day, like, this isn't a Pan Macmillan book. And you instantly know when you're reading manuscripts that this wouldn't work for us because there was this innate sense of it's not, you know. And I suppose with the author's voice having to be stronger than the brand is because, you know, when it comes to literary festivals, you're not going to send Penguin, you're going to send a Craig Higginson, you're going to be sending a, you know, whoever to do this. So I think that, so it's that kind of thing that we have to wrestle with, that, you know, the people in the game know what it means, you know, it's such a Jacana book.
Exactly.
You know, what does it mean to someone standing in a
Absolutely.
bookshelf?
Yeah?
I think that if, like, the President's Keepers, for example, I think that had to do a lot with the publisher, because if it was self-published, people would go, this person may be talking nonsense.
True.
There's no one to back it up. But when an actual company is willing to put their name on it, they're saying that we believe in this.
Absolutely.
All the like stereotypes you have to break regarding like self-publishing. People like have to work so hard to.
Oh, true.
So like
True.
there's an innate belief that because it's published, it's
Yes.
backed, it's
Right.
legitimate.
Credible, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
So
What is our credibility?
But then there's a million little pieces. It wasn't
yeah, but when you go into a bookstore and you see a book there, you go, it's good enough, it's backed. But when you go like online and you see, oh, this book is self-published, you're like, how good is it really? Like, is this someone who just felt like their story should be out there, but actually has no business writing?
I don't think I've ever done that once in my life.
What?
Like, gone onto Kindle and been like, is this a self-published title?
It's amazing what you'll find when you start. Like, because the way I found out about a lot of self-published writers was going to things like Geek Fest and Medieval Fair, because the fantasy writers have now in South Africa have started marketing their self-published books there. So they give you little bookmarks in that, and then I was like, oh, this is actually sounds really interesting. So then I went on, and then when I found the one, I just saw tons, like romance, steampunk. You know, you can find anything now. People who just want to get their story out.
I read a lot of self-published authors, like fantasy, fiction, romance, mostly from America, because that's just what Amazon is good at. But like, I don't think I've ever like gone onto Amazon on my phone or on my app, and then before I've bought the book, checked whether it's self-published or not.
Oh really? Because
Well,
I have
who
a
the
lot of
publisher
I have
is.
a lot of friends who are like, if you said, oh, it's self-published, they'd go like, oh no.
Yeah.
No, no. If it's self-published, it's not real.
Yeah.
Like, and they
Well, that's
also
a good
deny
thing.
the fact that
It is a real
it's
thing.
But
self-published.
there's one thing, fan fiction. That's like, for me, that is a form of self-publishing. And that's, but you don't really care.
What are our two best, what's the best example of fan fiction in the last 3 years?
50 Shades.
Geez, if you read, who read Twilight? I'm sorry, I was so in love with it. I was pregnant and I read them and I told my husband, go buy the others, sorry. So I read them all and then I started reading 50 Shades and I put it down. I was so nauseous and I thought, you stole from Stephanie Meyer. Sometimes word for word. And then I realized it's fan fiction.
There's another book, Carry On by Rember Rao.
Oh yeah.
It's basically a fan fiction of Harry Potter, of Draco Malfoy
Yes.
and Harry Potter.
So fan fiction is great and it can sell, as we've seen from 50 Shades of Grey. The idea of the overarching narrative is a big challenge for publishers. How do we create that? And the only way so publishers try and do that with their lists, and they say, our professional list does this, and this is the publishing philosophy behind that list. Another one that I want to show you is Harvard Business Review. So who knows that? I'm sure you all know it. So Harvard Business Review, to be honest, I don't know who half the authors are. But I do know one thing, that if Harvard Business Review publishes something on a topic for business, it is going to be good. I have no doubt that it's quality content. So, and then I find out who the authors are. But I just buy it because it's Harvard Business Review. And a lot of people actually subscribe to Harvard Business Review purely for that reason. So they are very much like Walt Disney. They've got a very clear narrative of quality business content.
So maybe these like all traditional publishing houses, it seems like the narrative was established at the onset. Because in the case of Disney, he sells magic. Harvard, there's a prestige about them.
Yes.
But maybe like a Penguin or a Random House, at the onset of establishing the company, there was no philosophy. There was...
That's a good question. I mean, you're a great fan of Penguin now. I think they had a philosophy. I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's your homework for next week, Mr. Cool.
Okay.
Let's go find out what Penguin's philosophy was.
Yeah, I like this concept of a publishing
Yes.
philosophy.
So, I mean, I know they have Puffin for the youth. That's quite nice. Puffin books, I mean, so cute. The whole concept of a penguin is cute, but I think you need to find that out for us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you had a really good example for us about a marketing campaign. Any other marketing campaigns? Someone emailed me one. Who you emailed me? I'm going to look at yours now. If I can open my email. Which one do you have?
Despite the fact that I hate Coke,
You don't drink it, you mean?
so, just found out some like really fun facts about them. You know, that they're actually 132 years old. It was first patent
As medicine?
Yeah, medicine. I was like, okay.
For your tummy? So even now you can just stir all the gas out apparently and then drink it.
So I mean, their whole kind of share a Coke campaign, that for me I think is a marketing strategy that works quite well. If you look at their Twitter, the US account has 3.3 million followers. Their South African account is 55,000. Instagram, they have 2.5 million in the US.
The Share a Coke campaign is so big it has its own Wikipedia page.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect.
And it first started, this whole Share a Coke campaign apparently started in Australia. And so that's where they kind of tested it out before they rolled it out to like over 80 countries worldwide. So I think that's, on Instagram alone there's like 671,000 posts just on the hashtag, not even on their handle. Just
Now that is 100% in line with their Content 2020 strategy. Let's see if I have it. Content 2020 Coke.
And I think because they're also, quite strong on just kind of TV ads and billboards and all the other traditional media that feeds into.
So they're the Coca-Cola company. This is 2 years ago. Analyzing its Content 2020 strategy. There's a very nice video on it. It's about 7 minutes long. So there's a lot we can look at from Coca-Cola. Let's see if we can maybe have a second at least of this video. So, if you say just for that campaign and the amount of followers that they have, it's insane. You have to
sales increase like worldwide, by 2%, but 2% is like.
Yeah.
We will move from creative excellence to content excellence.
It's a software company.
Chapter 1. How does content excellence approach liquid and linked content development? The purpose of content excellence is to create ideas so contagious they cannot be controlled. We call this liquid. And these ideas are so innately relevant to our business objectives, our brands and consumer interests, we call this linked. And through the stories we tell, we will provoke conversations and earn a disproportionate share of popular culture.
Wow.
The conversation model we have developed begins with brand stories. These brand stories create liquid and linked ideas. These liquid and linked ideas
This is the business
provoke
strategy
conversations.
based on content.
Then we need to act and react to those conversations 365 days a year. the case for change? We have three key drivers. First, we intend to double the size of our business. That's a lot of incremental servings. Second, we've observed a distribution of creativity. No one now has the smarts and ideas, and in fact, consumer-generated stories outnumber Coca-Cola Company-generated stories on most of our brands.
So consumer-generated content speaks for them, CSG.
The third is the distribution of technology. We now have greater connectivity and consumer empowerment than ever before. This has driven an on-demand culture where consumers can turn their demands on 24 hours a day.
What we talked about last time,
The good news is that technology can enable brilliant creativity. We can develop ideas where we cannot separate the message from technology. Let's take a look at 12 Force or Tipex. We can leverage existing consumer behaviors as IKEA have done on Facebook. And we can develop deeper emotional connections through our storytelling as the Golf GT mobile iPhone app has done.
So they went and I quickly want to show you IKEA. So they went and they benchmarked what other companies are doing in terms of those three things. Leveraging creativity. So who has seen the IKEA book ad? Okay, if you've seen it, then just please indulge me.
Once in a while, something comes along that changes the way we live. A device so simple and intuitive, using it feels almost familiar. Introducing the 2015 IKEA catalog. It's not a digital book or an e-book. It's a book. First thing to know is no cables. Not even a power cable. 2015 IKEA catalog comes fully charged and the battery life is eternal. The interface is 7.5 by 8 inches and can expand to 15 by 8 inches. The navigation is based on tactile touch technology, which we actually content comes pre-installed via 328 high-definition pages of inspiring home furnishing ideas. To start browsing, simply touch and drag. Right to left to move forwards. Left to right to move backwards. Notice something else? That's right. No lag.
No lag.
Notes instantaneously, no matter how fast you scroll. If you want to get a quick overview, just hold it in the palm of your hand and using just your thumb, speed browse to find it. If you find something you want to save for later, you can simply bookmark it. And even if you close the application, you can easily find the bookmark again.
That's just so brilliant.
What about multiple users? For that, we introduced a simple color-coding system to avoid confusion. If you want to share a particularly inspiring item, you literally share it. Another special feature is password protection, which is voice activated. Excuse me, that's mine. At IKEA, we feel that technology, this life-enhancing, should be in the hands of everyone. So the 2015 IKEA catalog is free. You can download one from your mailbox, the one you open with the key. Try refresh the next day.
Refresh.
Or you can upload yourself to the IKEA store and find one there. Experience the power of a book.
Brilliant ad. And what's interesting is that they did this ad after lots of negative feedback they got the previous year on their augmented reality catalog because you saw this. So people said, sure, this is take too far, and that's when they went for book. But this was the catalog the year before. So it's an app with AR, so you put the furniture in your room to see what it looks like. So you can see if the furniture fits in your room. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So you look, they're lying down. cute.
So complain about it.
So you downloaded the app and then a physical catalog.
I think it's very nice. Worth it.
So this was the ad for their catalog the previous year, which was all about the AR, and then people said it's too advanced and no one's going to use it. And then the next year they decided, screw that, we're sticking with technology, but we're calling it a book. So, brilliant. I don't even know where we were, sorry. But those are such good marketing campaigns. And I mean, content, then they're a furniture company. And they advertise their catalog so well. Okay. Your example, can you remember the link that it was?
Oh my god, I forgot. But I think you can type a boy and his atom.
Yes, a boy and his atom, hey? The world's smallest movie. Who knows this? I don't either. Is it this one? Okay, let's have a look. Oh, no way. I need to know how they got the atoms to move like that.
Yeah, that was
They
my
can
question.
move the atom and then take a frame or so. Yeah. It's just stop motion.
Shit.
I had to take a long time.
No long time. Oh wow.
I wonder how much that cost.
See how the movie was made. We're intrigued, we're intrigued. Oh wait, no, that's not. I want to see someone's nosing. Wait, let's see.
That's very cool.
The world's smallest movie. How long is it? Oh no, it's short. No, I want to see how it's made. Where's the how it's made movie? Damn it. Okay, we'll have a look at that later. Okay, so why did this intrigue you? Tell us.
I think for me, it's like IBM is a tech company, and why they appealed to me was because they've taken a very complicated and a very boring subject, and they somehow were able to make it quite appealing and interesting.
Absolutely.
I mean, that YouTube video has had, I think it's almost like 7 billion people, people have seen it. So.
Fantastic. And I mean, YouTube alone is a whole channel that I personally think publishers haven't explored enough yet. It is like free TV, but it's also a social network. People think it's a video streaming, but it's not. It's a social network where the form of communication, the medium, is video. So we can look at that when we do digital marketing on some of the more advanced YouTube campaigns as well. Okay, right. I just wanted to watch the time. Any other nice examples of marketing? Yes.
Tesla and SpaceX.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That
What
was
did
good.
they do?
That's SpaceX.
Is that the car?
Yeah, they put Tesla in space.
And I mean, let's
Right.
face it, you know, last night I watched a documentary
No,
about the
that's-
boys that in the Thai cave rescue. And then this Discovery documentary said, American Elon Musk, I'm sorry, Mr. Cool, he's born in South Africa. That's our export to the US. Sure. Was it the car in space?
It's just like our Tesla ad.
Oh, was
I
it a
don't even
Tesla
know
ad?
It's not really an ad. It's like a stunt. That was an ad as
Yeah.
well.
It was.
They basically launched a car into space
I remember
and
that.
landed their boosters, which everyone was like, it's impossible. And they landed to our 3
But it seems like they've got a lot of nice ads running.
Yeah.
Okay.
That, like, the space from the car.
This leads me to another question. Do you need money for marketing?
Yes,
Sometimes.
but not a lot.
That sounds like it. Like,
It's really free.
I
Yes,
think
it's
you
really
either
different.
need time or you need money. Because the amount of time that you spend without the money to find the exact time that your viewers are online,
Right.
that they'll be viewing, you spend hours. But then if you work out a schedule of when people are online and they'll see your post better than other times, then you can sort of get away with it. But if you don't have that time, it's easier to just throw $100 at Facebook and
What's the difference?
oh, I'm going to quickly.
Time is money.
I'm going to draw something on the back of the board, and then you remember this for your mark. Oh, there's pens here.
They're all the thing, aren't they?
Are they in there?
There's one behind.
So you can use this. I hope I almost thought I locked this. No, man. They didn't leave us any pens.
In the boxes?
No, nothing. It's such an important thing to show you guys. Can you, I didn't even bring any pens along. Let me just go double check his back. Otherwise, I just have to remember for next time. Because we were in here earlier, Michelle and I, we both just jumped into another class and we were busy on the ball.
I think lecturers bring their own and take their own, and most people steal.
Okay. It's a concept called the iron triangle. So when you do anything in life, any business, there are 3 triangles that you have to always think of. I'll draw it at the back here and then I'll show you. So if you look at this triangle, in the middle is quality. It's how good you want something to be. And then the 3 things that impacts quality is scope, cost, and time. Let me write it down, at least you can see. Scope, cost, and time. Sorry, that's a little clock. So quality in anything that you do in business is affected by scope, what needs to get done, cost, how much money do we have, and time, how quickly does it need to get done.
And what did you say this was called?
The iron triangle for business.
The iron.
The iron triangle, iron. I'll give it to you in American. The iron triangle. So, if you don't have money, then you're probably going to have to know that quality is going to suffer. If you have to be quick to market, then one of these will suffer. Then it might be expensive and you'll have to reduce the cost. If you don't have a scope, then you have to know it's going to cost you lots of money and it's going to take lots of time to get to market. Okay, yes.
When you say scope, what do you mean? The range?
What needs to get done?
Okay.
So scope can be defined as the project plan, the marketing plan, the campaign plan, the communications plan, the business plan, the business requirements specification, the user specifications, anything we want in business. This is the what job needs to get done and what does it have to look like. And then we decide how much money do we have and how quickly or slowly does it need to happen. These 3 things impact quality. So, the President's Keeper, if we took this as an example, what do you think they had? Do you think they had lots of money?
Nope.
I don't think so either.
They have money in case they get sued.
Yeah.
That's a legal cost.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's
it's
think,
not really
agree?
a publisher.
Let's think about that marketing campaign for President's Keeper. What did they do?
Sent out free copies.
Hey?
That wasn't a marketing thing, that was in case we get arrested thing.
Wasn't it a bit of a both thing?
I think it helped to boost sales.
It made people feel panic, but there wasn't really a marketing scheme because if anyone knew about the book, it get shut
Yeah, they didn't have money. So what did they do with time? Did we know this book was coming?
No.
Did we know when this book was coming? So they kept it under embargo with exclusive books. They had a secret meeting with the head of exclusive books. They said, this book is going to be ready on this Tuesday, in this month, in this year. I can't remember the exact dates, forgive me. That Sunday, they dropped the stock at exclusive books. So they timed it perfectly. They didn't spend lots of money to say, the book is coming, the book is coming, the book is coming. They timed it perfectly because the book was written in a time when there was a lot going on in South Africa and people were anticipating research and investigation to be done into the matter. So they had time on their side. They planned it perfectly. And because they had time, they didn't spend a lot, but their quality didn't suffer. No one can blame them for how they approached that campaign. No one is going to go and, 20 years from now and say, why don't you have a billboard ad? Okay, that wasn't part of the scope. So their scope was clear. This is something we have to release timely, secretively, because we don't want it to be stopped in any way, legally stopped. So they had scope and time, and so they could let the finances suffer, but their quality didn't. Okay, so these three things impact what we do in business on a daily basis. And when you do your marketing plan later, keep the iron triangle in mind because I want you to look at those considerations. How do I ensure quality? And so if we say we don't need a lot of money for marketing, I'd say at a book title level, probably not. Depending on the author, depending on the following that the author has. So a lot of publishers leverage author relationships. I'll lesson in about 4 weeks. If you do have money, what are you going to do with it? So websites, social media marketing, events, conferences. And we know publishing is fraught with events. It's like the event industry, I think, after pharmaceuticals. We like getting together and brushing each other's hair and talking about American Idol.
So my thing that I not researched, it was just one of the authors that I really like. Her name's Harper Sloan.
Yeah.
And she writes like a lot of like romance. And one of the books that she published, I can't remember. So she's also like a sales rep for a company called LipSense, which is like this magical lipstick that stays on for 18 hours no matter what you do with your life. That lipstick stays on. And she built up such a good following on social media and like on Instagram and Facebook specifically, where she like in her daily life wore this lipstick so much, and then whenever she sends, so she was a self-published author, so whenever she sent out hard copies of her books, she would send this cool like awesome package that was so like decoratively put together. You know, like how if you've ever shopped at like shop like Louis Vuitton or something, you don't just get like stuff in a bag and then you go. You get like this whole experience in the bag. And she did that with her books and with the LipSense. So whenever she packaged it, she packaged the book so well, but it also had like a LipSense campaign in it, because let's be honest, people who are gonna read like very sappy, like romance, happy ever after books are also generally women who want to wear pretty lipstick that will last forever. So it also had like a coupon in it or something. And then whenever she sold lipstick, she did the same, and she put her author bio, which had like professional photographs and things, and of her wearing this very cool purple lipstick, because she's known for her purple hair and purple lipstick. So
Fantastic.
that's how it came about. Is that she had purple hair and she wanted purple lipstick, and then everyone that followed her really wanted this purple lipstick. So the one book that she wrote had the main character wearing this purple lipstick that never faded. So when she delivered it, she had like a coupon in it that if you bought this book, signed copy or something, then you also got a coupon for the lipstick. So it wasn't as like big as like Tess and stuff, but it worked
Very
well.
nice. There's a company in the UK, I just can't remember what the name is now, that do that. So they do product placement in trade titles. So if they write a story about a man who falls in love with a woman on a train, they will punt specific aftershave or a specific train or a specific suit that he wears, and they get paid for that. So now there's lots of debate about how ethical is that as a publisher to punt product. Who cares? The publisher's making money. Yeah. I met a lady the other day who does visual merchandising, and she's probably the devil because she says shopping is supposed to be fun. I'm thinking, yes, if you've got money, and that's her job. She makes sure people shop. So, I mean, product placement in publishing and branded content is a big thing. Okay. All right, so enough now on those. I'm sure you all have other ideas as well, but I think we get the gist of it. That whatever we do in one industry is still applicable in the publishing industry. But for many years in the publishing industry, we kind of thought we were an island. We thought, we are special. We are the romantics at heart who's going to publish the great voices of the future. We don't need to be doing the mundane things like search engine optimization. Okay, but publishers in the future have to learn. They're competing with Coke. Coke's business strategy is content. We do content. How do we leverage content to make money? If Coke can do it by selling a soft drink and leveraging content, how can we do it who own content? How can we leverage content? Okay. The marketing departments, I saw someone with an organogram on their table. That looks one. I hope that's for a publishing house. Good. Tell me, what do you have to tell me? What do you have to ask me? When you did your research about the marketing department, I'm going to ask each of you the publishing house you chose and just general comments about what you found about the marketing department. We're going to start this side. I'll start this side because I'll start with it all the time.
No problem.
So which publishing house?
Okay, so I started out with Oxford University Press.
Yes.
And they didn't really have any detailed information about their marketing. But what I noticed is that Oxford University Press, as well as Random House.
Yeah. And that's OUPSA specifically? So the South African branch or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay.
But I noticed that marketing and digital divisions were different.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's an observation that I made, but I wasn't able to find any specific details concerning.
And do you think that digital was related to digital marketing or digital production?
I think both.
Okay.
Because on the digital page, there was like a brief explanation of what the department does. And there was some mention of campaigning.
Okay.
Nothing explicit.
Okay. That's something that's happening now across industries where, and please don't stone me for saying this, but it's a reality, where digital maturity is still low. We split digital as a separate department entirely. And the reality is digital is not a choice anymore about whether we should be doing business like that. It is how we do business. So, I mean, even is it Penguins, a website I saw this evening, they also have a separate digital department, digital production, which is separate from editorial and design, digital marketing, which is separate. I can understand why, because publishers had to go from this to this. But this is still the business that creates most of their income, but this is where the consumer trends are. So they're afraid, they can't let go of this. But they don't know how to focus, and they can't focus all their energy here, the risk is too big. But they don't know where to bring these two together. So I consider, in my opinion, don't repeat it, low digital maturity. Because if you're digitally mature as an organization, you can have those two blend together. Okay, so they have a marketing department. Do they have a chief marketing officer? Did you see any of that? Like titles, positions?
I didn't see
Okay.
much mention of titles.
All right. Have a look at that because you're going to have to think about a marketing team that you are going to present as the ideal marketing team, each of you, as part of your assignment.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I got that already though. Yeah.
Cool. Great. Right, which one did you look at?
Well, I started with one I know, which is Pan Macmillan,
Yeah.
and they have a publicity.
Yeah.
Well, it's two people, so it's the publicity manager and the publicity assistant.
Okay.
And then they have a sales and marketing manager who then has a team of people who look after individual lists of
Okay.
books. Yeah.
So sales and marketing director is one, and then publicity and PR is another.
Yeah.
What is the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between sales and marketing and publicity? What is marketing? What is publicity? What do you think?
Well, I mean, the job of the publicity manager at Pan was to really leverage the author's connections and to put the events together, the
Okay.
launches and
Yes.
you need to be at X festival for, and making sure that it gets to all the reviewers, snail mailboxes, etc.
Yeah. So publicity takes a specific title, a specific author, a specific campaign, and publicizes that. They put together the communications plan. All of that usually feeds into the marketing budget. So publicity and PR, you'll see in your textbook as well, is part of the marketing budget. For many publishers, it is still run as a separate thing because they have those voices of the author and the industry events that they have to leverage off. Okay. Did you see any interesting new positions, like the community manager or the social media?
So that's outsourced by someone who is one of the
That's important, so they outsource that.
Outsources someone who's one of the editors, but because she's not in the office. I mean, so I've always found it interesting how that works out, because there's so many interesting things that happen behind the scenes, when the author's copies come in or whatever, all those moments that aren't really captured. So it is something that's outsourced.
So they're perhaps afraid to make an investment in a full-time person. Low digital maturity. Okay. My opinion, remember? Okay. So no digital person, publicity, PR, they have sales reps. Okay. Yes.
They do have an in-house social media coordinator.
They have an in-house social media. That's Pan Macmillan. An in-house social media coordinator. And did you see what that person does? What is their job description?
Just social media campaigns and competitions and book cover reveals, that sort of stuff, and contacting influencers and.
Okay. All right. And obviously writing the content strategy for social media. Okay, great. Michelle?
Mine was the one that I emailed you. It's got that. I made a thingamabob. That thingamabob. And
Let me see if I can access it. So I just have to go into my
It's
iCloud.
just so odd that it's not it won't show properly.
I'm just sorry, my computer closed down. I just want to close everything here so that my
So it was of a publishing house that I had actually never heard of before. It's I searched South African publishing houses, and I went through the list to go and see if any of these places had this information on their website, and they didn't. And then I started going down the line and phoning them and asking for it, and this was the first one that responded.
Okay.
So I think it's the first one that I sent you.
Just see. Oh wait, it's in there. Sorry. So it's an organisation you don't know.
Yeah, I had never heard of it before. Apparently based in Cape Town.
There are many of them.
Indeed.
Now I can see I crochet blankets for the churches in my spare time. My life is just in front of you here. It's so embarrassing.
It's really hard to read that.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. I'm like, oh, you're seeing everything. Oh, fantastic. Sales and marketing, 25 members.
Yes.
Heaven forbid.
Sure.
And that's all in the marketing department.
Yes, so that's the sales and marketing department. So the head of sales and marketing reports directly to the CEO, but there is no chief. So yeah, there's no chief marketing officer.
Yeah.
But the head of sales and marketing reports
Okay.
directly to the CEO.
Okay.
And then there's a coordinator, and then they have 6 different departments within sales and marketing: publicity, trade sales, schools, digital sales, stock, and customer service.
Wow.
And then what was cool was they had their own digital sales assistants, and they had social media. I cannot do this.
There we go. Social media
social media
publicist.
publication. There you go.
And a website guru.
Yes, that's what I read at the website guru was fun. For me.
Yeah.
And that's actually her like direct word. So when she sent me this information, she said like website guru. She didn't say like website person.
Oh, fantastic.
And then what was also cool was that they had different teams, sales reps for inland and coastal areas. I don't know if lots of people do that. I've never heard of it before. And then I think that was all that I found.
I see sales manager inland, sales manager coastal, customer relationship agent.
And
Okay,
then
this-
sales rep inland, sales rep coastal.
Yeah.
8 Careers publishers.
8 Careers publishers, that's what they're called.
Yeah,
Gee, we've never heard of them, but they're massive.
massive.
Watch this space.
I was very impressed with their size and what they had been doing. And they focused a lot on, so when they first started, they were just Afrikaans books. And then they
I have to go see. Yeah.
They stopped, or they didn't stop, but because they noticed that the market was getting a bit smaller, they expanded. That's the number.
8 Careers publishers. No, it's not there. What's there? They must have another name.
No, or
Maybe not more something.
No, they are part of Parcels. You found them on there.
no, I didn't.
Didn't you?
No, it was
How? They're not even part of Parcel. Take that, Parcel.
There.
No, that's NB.
No, so it's the same thing.
Is it NB?
NB.
Oh, okay, so it's NB Publishers.
I don't know. So when
I think it's an imprint of it.
Okay.
okay, that makes sense.
De Aar van Sky Quillery.
So I didn't know that they actually.
Who was the lady that you spoke at? Martha Collins.
No, Tracy Lee.
Jeez, this is a massive company. We all want to work there. Okay.
Harbour.
Tracy Lee Carver.
Yeah.
So this is quite nice. They've got a graphic designer. Why is that important in a marketing division?
Because everything, like any content that you generate, is on your computer.
Yes. And anybody who does social media posts think they can do it on their own phone with Love Collage. No. Get a graphic designer. So they've got a graphic designer, they've got a social media publicist, which is I'm sure who does the social media posts as well and does their social media content strategy. They have normal publicists. They've got a website guru who I'm sure is who does the e-commerce. Do they have e-commerce? I think they do if it's NB, but e-commerce and SEO. And then they've got a publicity officer. And then on this side, they've got a digital sales assistant, so that must be e-commerce. That's quite a comprehensive department. What would you say? Do you think there's anything lacking there? No. Interesting for me that they have stock reporting into marketing.
Well, I suppose it could be helpful if you're seeing how much of this is being bought and how much of
How often?
Yeah.
And where and how.
Yeah.
So they hopefully have a data feed into customer service and to that side of the room. Fantastic. Okay, well done. So we're happy with them. Next, madam. Hey? Oh, Pan Macmillan as well. Okay, so you say they have an in-house social media coordinator. And did you get a job description of what they do? Not really. Okay, and nothing stand out for you? Okay, great. Wilson,
Yes.
who did you look at?
Jonathan Ball.
Who? Jonathan Ball. Oh, she's not here. Pulling.
Yeah, she's not here.
Okay. I also found that split between the traditional and the
Digital.
digital. I also went through the list on the website. I found many companies. A lot of them promised to come back.
As they do.
So in the end, what I did was that I took the traditional publish on their own, and they also represent 59 publishers and agencies
Sure.
overseas.
Okay.
Yes. And they have a sales director. And I wondered why they only call it a sales director, not a sales and marketing director. But later on I figured that perhaps the money made more sense to them than
There's a fuzzy bit next to that.
than marketing. And so under the sales director they have a publicity manager, a marketing manager, a digital sales manager, a sales managers for each partner program. Each of the 59 they got sales managers that manage sectors of their markets. And they have an e-commerce division, but it is not a content division, it's a retail division.
Okay.
You see, when you spoke about the divide between digital and traditional marketing, most marketing departments have to deal with certain technologies like your graphic design, your what do you call it, your digital publishing content, and you probably find that the sales director hasn't got the skills to manage those
Okay.
capabilities. So these guys haven't got an e-commerce platform for content, but they got it for retail. They use it to manage the relationship with their agencies.
Okay, so like a B2B platform.
Precisely.
Wow. Okay.
And then they have a social media presence. I didn't see a specific position for social media, but on the website they have a Twitter feed, they have a Facebook feed, and a Pinterest feed. Yeah.
So they have a sales director, they don't have a marketing director.
No, you have a sales director. Yeah.
And then the
Everything else
marketing
reports-
feeds into the sales.
Sales, yeah.
They have a marketing manager.
A
They
marketing
also
manager
have a
that
marketing
reports
manager
into the sales director.
who reports to the sales director.
What is the relationship between sales and marketing, besides the fact that marketing should translate to sales?
Well, I think the marketing, the way I understand it, is that the marketing drives the campaigns, and the sales bring the money.
So who gets bonus at the end of the year, sales or everyone? Because that's always the question. How do you do marketing in Transnet, Wilson?
Transnet is a big company. I work for the property division.
Yeah.
And so I actually work for the asset register component. So if you ask me how I drive marketing, is that I've got a suite of services that I sell to the businesses. The services I provide are support services. If they want to build a railway line, I acquire the land. I buy all the land for them to acquire. I buy the rights to the land. I register it, I survey it, I get a title deed for them,
Sure.
and all of that.
So you have internal clients that you
for
market
internal
to.
clients. So
Oh,
if
okay.
there's a big project, I sell my product, my services too.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much. Young lady?
I did Cambridge University Press, the African branch.
Yeah.
Okay, they've got a sales and marketing director for Africa, and they've got a sales and marketing director for South Africa. They've also got a business development office for the African region, which consists of a sales and marketing manager.
Sure.
And then they've also got a sales office, a South African sales office, which consists of provincial sales officer in all the provinces. And then they've got a digital products and an e-learning manager.
See, that's quite interesting because they're schools focused. So if you compare it now to PAN, there's no publicity manager. Because in schools, we don't do publicity. We're completely reliant on what government puts out on tender, on call. So they have a very clear focus on sales and going to schools. Thank you, but we'll look at that when we get to that lecture. Yes?
I did Jacana Media. So they have a sales director.
Yeah.
So then with sales, they have sales reps, and they each get like stores, like provinces, and specific
Okay.
areas that they have to oversee and ensure sales are made. And then with the marketing coordinator, there's various publicists and marketing people.
Yeah.
who focus. They mainly focus on social media marketing. I think because they're a bit of a smaller company, I think it's the cheapest way for them to market
Yeah.
their books. So there's the social media guru, and so he plays everything online. He creates the content, he creates the advertisements. So he does all of that, and then you have your publicists who handle, like you said, they handle specific authors, specific events. They work hand in hand with the publisher, and they decide the plan going forward, how they're going to publicize the book, how they're going to market it. So they fall beneath sales. So they operate separately, but at the end of the day, marketing
Feeds into
feeds
sales.
into sales.
God, so that's a growing trend we see. Nicole.
So I came to South Africa, and from the information that I got, there are 2 digital marketers in South Africa. There's one focusing on their social media and that marketing, so their presence as well, and then the marketing that feeds into that, and then another marketer that focuses on their mailing list and their website and that kind of thing. And then there is the National Marketing and Publicity Manager, who's the head of the department. And then there's the International Marketing Manager, and then a Children's Marketing Manager, and then there are 6 publicists working in those teams.
Okay.
In total, so there's 9 people in total.
Sure. That's quite small for to think it's Penguin. To compare it with this company, let me show another 25 people.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Next.
I have Panic Villain as well, so we kind of already have gone over there.
Okay.
I think we're getting through too fast.
No. Just give me some of your highlights that you noticed.
So what I found interesting is just the sheer, for the whole company, the amount of people who are working on sales and marketing is actually quite high compared to all the other people in the company. There's a lot of people working on that one thing, because obviously it's very important. But I don't know, when I came into this course for the first time, I would have never thought that. So, I don't know, I just think that's interesting.
Okay. Very good. Next.
I did Jonathan Ball, so it's pretty much been covered. I think the only thing that I found was interesting is that they have a publicity manager as well as a marketing manager.
Yeah.
And the distinction between those two, because I think they have to work very closely together.
Yes. And we'll look at that when we do trade specifically, because trade is the only one that has publicity managers. And last but not least,
I also did Jonathan Ball.
they're clearly quite popular.
But what I also noticed, maybe the last thing would be to focus on those that are directly under the marketing manager, where they have a marketing coordinator, a web administrator, a social media coordinator, and a marketing assistant.
Okay.
So these are the ones that work directly.
Yeah. And marketing assistants and coordinators are the skivvies who do all the hard work. But that's a good place to start. I started as an assistant and as a team maker, and that's what you do when you start in the industry. Okay. I think we're all getting tired. It's already almost 6 o'clock. So, 2 things you have to take away today. The first thing is, and we talked about this in quite a lot of length, is that publishers can learn from other industries to go to market and to market their products. Okay. And there's an opportunity for us to do some comparisons between publishing and specific industries and to see what we can learn from each other. What has resulted from that, because there are some publishers who recognize that, is in recent years we've seen a lot of publishing companies appointing people from other industries into publishing. An easy example now is the new CEO of Pearson, who was head of e-commerce at Visa. So he comes from credit facilities, from financial services. And he's the new CEO. So your CEO is not specifically marketing, but publishing can learn from other industries. The principles are the same. We're not an island. The second thing is the marketing team in publishing is different across sectors, and we'll have a look at those when we speak of each of those sectors. But there is clearly a move towards digital, even if as a separate division, department, whatever. And there's an opportunity for greater digital maturity if they actually integrate digital into their everyday life. Okay. Please keep all of this in mind. It's all leading up to your final task that you have to do. For next week, I would like you to come to class with a written down definition of what is marketing. And I need you, if it's 5 lines, it's 5 lines. If it's 5 words, it's 5 words. If you can, come up with your own definition. But I need you to come and tell me what is marketing. And you're each going to get a turn to give us your definition, to read it out loud. And then we're going to have a detailed look at that. So not so much work as the last time. I just want to double check. Yeah, so let's just start there with what is marketing. The rest we can do later. So please come to class with that. We'll start with that at the beginning of class, and then I'll move into a bit of me in front of PowerPoint lecture. Okay, great. And if you can, please make sure you do get a copy of this book. If you buy it online from Skype, you're going to wait 4 to 6 days. If you go to the shop, you get it immediately. Location, access, convenience. I drove from Pretoria to here because I didn't want to wait 6 days.
Wait, do they have it now?
They do.
I went last week and they couldn't find a copy.
Oh, the same here. They said online they couldn't find it. Luckily, I know the digital manager from Skype, so I phoned him and said, "Your people are telling me the book's not here." And while I was speaking to him on the phone, we saw the copies on the shelf. So the copies are there. They're
They're in like a weird dodge.
Yes.
I went last week and they just sold out, so they were getting more in.
Yes. So
E-copy will suffice, right?
The e-copy will suffice. If you can get that, absolutely. Thank you everyone for class. I'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, we do lots of discussions because I need to see you think. I think you're all very brilliant and I wish I was your age. Even you, Wilson, and I had all your life experience. Okay, now let me get my bearings to get out of here because this is like a space shuttle shutdown. This, that,